So here's the situation. Had a new store sign on with me to do a small subset of their digital advertising, right? For myself and my team. They had a strong February, as a lot of my stores did in 2026. And then they had a weaker March, which a lot of my stores did in 2026 as well compared to 2025. But theirs was more substantially weaker than normal. So, ownership and management let me know, hey, something doesn't feel right. So we start looking into things and everything looks good from our ads. We audit, we check, are links going to the right place? Are we showing up where we need to show up? Are we are the areas correct? All this stuff. So what we do is I actually go into their CRM, and this is why my team asks for CRM access. We go into the CRM and we also ask for website access as well, GA4, because we take it as a more consultative approach. Even though we only are doing one segment or service, I assume to be the advocate and the steward of our clients' advertising dollars and really advertising presence. Right. So that assumption and that genuinity of, hey, let me look into it. Let me see what I can do to help you. Even though I don't necessarily get compensated for that at this point, is just one of the added values that I find builds really strong relationships and builds excellent rapport over time and leads to great business growth. So I'm going to walk you through the example of exactly how we found the problem that the website provider couldn't find, the third-party digital advertising vendors couldn't find, the other digital advertising agency couldn't find, only because we're focused on making the difference. Myself, my team, we're focused on making the difference, and we understand what the baseline metric should be. So I'm going to start the journey in Google Analytics 4, and I think it's pretty important because it tells a story, right? So when we go to GA4, I'm always going into my go-to report, which is acquisition and user acquisition. Why? Because it gives me what traffic sources we have when we change this guy to first user source medium. And then it also tells me all the different metrics across, all the way from total user count, ending to key events or what actually happened on the website. And usually if something's wrong, by looking at this, we'll be able to tell and tell relatively quickly. So let's get into how we found out something was wrong. All right, so I'm looking at February 22nd. All right, and they had a decent February. So let's look at February 1st, just day by day. Right, so they have Edmunds, Google, CPC, some Google ads, organic, direct traffic, some iMask, weird stuff that I've seen across, some Bing, and some FB. So what am I looking at here? Well, my eye is going to draw to these top line metrics. And usually, if I know we're pumping good traffic in, I'm going to focus on these blocks here to tell me a story, right? So February 1st, this is a baseline, right? And I'm actually going to focus in on average engagement time per active user. So their baseline is a minute 13. They had a decent February. So I'm going to look back to February, see what their average engagement time metric is, and be like, okay, that's what their baseline is. So let me click over a couple days and actually just kind of see. All right, we went from a minute to 45 seconds. Okay, Google Organics, roughly about 2 minutes. Direct traffic's about a minute engagement time. Google Ads, about 33 seconds. All right, cool. It really depends on what kind of campaigns we're running, but okay, look at this. Google, this went up a lot. A minute 34. We had 3 minutes plus in Google Organic. We had a minute in direct traffic. And I'm mostly looking at a diagnostic situation with Google Organic and direct traffic, right? Because our paid ads, we already knew that our paid ads, our paid search ads under Google CPC between my segmentation campaigns, I should say my teams, and the other digital agency were working fine. So as I keep clicking, I just kind of see a baseline of metrics on what is actually good. All right, so as we're clicking through the days, especially the days when business was good, we're getting some sort of baseline, right? Between a minute and 2 minutes, we're getting some sort of baseline between what their organic traffic and direct traffic average engagement time is. And we're clicking through some days when it was good. So as I keep clicking through the days, I start to get to the end of February. And that's when we notice a change. Notice our average engagement time drops a lot, 33 seconds, right? Google Organic still at 2 minutes and 12. Google CPC is a little bit low. Direct traffic's very low. That's very, very low for direct traffic. Direct traffic should be one of the higher average engagement times per active user. So when I see that, it's at 20 seconds, I go, something's not right there. What changed? I mean, literally February 21st, it was a minute 33, and then February 22nd, it dropped to 20. That's the point of inflection. That was like the day that something changed. So, but dealers won't notice this, right? They won't notice it because website traffic doesn't necessarily affect business that exact day. It may affect business, a week or 2 weeks out. So let's keep looking as we go into it's the 23rd. Look at our direct traffic. Okay, it gets a little bit better. That's good. 23rd, that's good. A little bit better. But then it goes back to 41 seconds. Still kind of low. Let's keep going. Look at that. Direct traffic, where is it? 22 seconds. Now our average engagement time is 28 seconds. Our key events, too, dropped. 365. If we went to like the February 15th, let's say, we had 692 key events. Let's keep clicking here. I didn't even pay attention to that. These key events are just actionable items that we want people to take on the website. So that has a baseline too. So I'm going to look at the quality of the traffic and what the people are doing when they get there. So when I look at this 22nd, that is the first day where direct traffic drops, and our key events, they're okay, but they're not quite as high. Let's keep going. 23rd, 687, a little bit better here. 24th, 34 seconds. Direct traffic had 41 seconds engagement time. Key events 596. Okay. 25th. 28 seconds average engagement time. 22 seconds for direct traffic. Now organic is less too. A minute 3. And your key events fell to 365. Right? So we're not tracking as much stuff here. February 26th, 35 seconds average engagement time. 26 seconds direct, 473 key events. A lot of the direct traffic is just not doing as well. Average engagement time is a little bit better. Key events are a little bit better through the 27th and then 28th. Let's see. 28th, it drops, 362, right? So towards the end of February, something goes awry. And there is some website cookie, website cookie, what do you call it? Cookie privacy, which would affect some of these metrics and analytics ability to track things. However, we did find that there were some errors and the site was breaking. So, I mean, if we look in March, let's just take an average. First 7 days of March, you had 27 seconds, right? Direct traffic only had 33 seconds. That's very, very not normal. Not normal. Google Organic to have 49 seconds average engagement time is not normal. When I compared over the previous period to, we had a drop in users of 15%, but we had a drop in key events of 37%, and our average engagement time dropped 32%. Not so good. So when I keep going in March, we keep finding this, right? We keep finding this. Even when I go to the end of March, let's see what the end of March brings. Yeah, and they had a bad March. They did. So their average engagement time, their direct traffic is basically bouncing off the site. Their key events was not where they once were. And we're just seeing these numbers not track correctly. So then we found and made some adjustments. And in April, this is when we started trying to figure it out. So let's say the 10th, look at that, 261 key events, 15 seconds. It's getting even worse. 5 seconds average engagement time for direct. That is so not good. It's not even funny, right? It's not even funny. So we made some adjustments to the websites. We stripped out some plugins that weren't making sense, and we found some instances after we crawled it. My team and I, shout out to one of my specialists, Emin. He had the idea to strip out some things that were there when we were finding broken things on the website, and we started to do that actually yesterday, right? So look at this, leading up to the 13th, 20 seconds, average engagement time 14 seconds, 14th, 18 seconds, average engagement time 16 seconds. We're in the 300s for key events. Up until yesterday, 59 seconds. First normal engagement, average engagement time per user in over a month. We had nearly double the amount of key events that we average, right? And our direct traffic actually had 59 seconds average engagement time. The user count was also less than it was previously. This is a good sign. It's a good sign. So this change just happened. But the change we made, what I'm trying to get at is the changes and the things we identified as more of a consultative approach. We went ahead, we worked with the website provider and the ownership and the management to say, hey, there's something wrong with your traffic, both in the store and online. Let's fix the ones online, because the online traffic is what we can help influence, right? Even though it extends far outside the scope of what we do, it helps us influence. And you should start to see more opportunities come through your CRM, at least for your website leads, to get back to a baseline of what they were. If we restore the website analytic traffic to what it was, then all things being the same, you should start to see your CRM, as long as it's integrated correctly, you should start to see your CRM actually get the lead baseline back up. And if the lead baseline is back up, well, then we should be able to get more. We should be able to get, more sales and opportunities, because your lead baseline is back. So that's really what this is, right? That's really what this is. So with that being said, that's what we have. So we were able to fix it. We were able to get the website traffic back online. The key now is being able to monitor this and being able to see if this actually restores the website leads in a way we think is more normal to their baseline, right? So I guess it's going to need a follow-up video. But if we're right, well, then we're fortune tellers, right? Then we can see into the crystal ball of digital advertising. Not really. You just look at the problem, you look at the metrics, you look at the baselines, and say, hey, when was it good? When did it go bad? Let's try and find the date of what happened. We found that date. Cool. What's the difference? Once we found the difference, correct the difference. Do we restore things back to what we normally see? Yesterday was the first day of yes, we have. So now we have to check over the next 3 to 7 days to see if we start getting more leads the same. So, follow-up video coming up. David Feldman-Makrias. Thank you very much for watching this long. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I know I may get some things like, okay, if you removed cookie software or privacy cookie software, of course, David, you're going to see a decline in traffic and engagement and all this stuff. Yes, I agree with you, but we did find instances of the site breaking with that technology on it. So when something's breaking it and that's the only thing that caused it, take it out, strip it out, see what happens, give it a few days, and see if we can return to a normal baseline, right? It's not going to happen like that, but you should start to gradually get back to a normal baseline. We'll keep you guys informed on what happens. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.